let's talk about Luckin Coffee. When you hear that name, what's the first thing you think of? For a lot of people, it's not just another coffee shop. It's a full-on phenomenon. This is the brand that used a fire hose of technology and cash to completely rewrite the rules of the coffee game in mainland China, becoming a household name practically overnight.
And their growth wasn't just fast. Analysts have literally called it savage. They fundamentally changed the daily habits of millions of people. Coffee went from being this sit-down luxury experience to a super-fast, grab-and-go necessity.
And that brings us to the big question, right? With all the rumors flying around about Luckin eyeing Taipei, we've got to ask, can this mainland powerhouse actually make its winning formula work in a market that plays by a totally different set of rules? Let's break it down.
Okay, first things first. To really get why Taiwan is such a huge challenge, we need to understand what made Luckin such a dominant force in the first place. And spoiler alert, it was never just about cheap coffee. Nope, it was a total masterclass in modern, data-driven retail.
Just look at this. It's a completely different philosophy. You've got Starbucks, which has always sold the third space, that comfortable spot that's not home and not work. Luckin, they sell the exact opposite. They are all about pure, unadulterated efficiency. To them, coffee is a daily utility, and their entire model is built to get a quality cup in your hands as fast as humanly possible, all through their app.
So how did they build this empire? It all comes down to this brilliant three-step flywheel. First, they throw a ton of money at subsidies. Your first cup is on us, to get millions to download the app. Second, that app becomes an incredible data goldmine. It tracks your habits to hit you with the perfect coupon and even decides the exact street corner for the next tiny store. And third, they keep you hooked by becoming a viral product machine, constantly dropping buzzworthy drinks like their famous coconut latte. Each step just feeds the next, spinning that wheel faster and faster.
And the engine driving all this growth? Something they call fish in marketing. The concept is incredibly simple, but man, is it powerful. They give you a free coffee for getting a friend to sign up, and then your friend gets a free coffee. Just like that, they turn every single customer into a marketer. It creates this explosive chain reaction growth that spreads just like, a fission reaction.
Okay, so that's the powerful engine Luckin built. But what happens when that engine comes screaming around a corner and slams headfirst into the brick wall of the Taiwanese market? Because as we're about to see, this is a whole different ballgame. Luckin's entire business model is built on a cost structure that, frankly, just doesn't exist in Taiwan.
Let's get into it with a data triple punch. First up, 38%. That's the high end of what food delivery platforms can charge in commissions in Taiwan. For a business that lives and dies on razor-thin margins and massive volume, a number like that isn't just a challenge, it's a potential knockout blow to profitability. Next punch, over 14,000. That's the staggering number of convenience stores blanketing Taiwan. And these aren't just stores, they are coffee powerhouses that have mastered the art of affordable, high-speed caffeine. In Taiwan, you are never more than a few steps from a decent, cheap cup of coffee. How do you even begin to compete with that?
And the final blow, 180. That's the average number of cups a person in Taiwan drinks per year. Now compare that to just over 22 in mainland China back when Luckin was exploding. The key takeaway here is that Luckin isn't entering a new, wide-open market it can build from scratch. It's trying to fight its way into a very mature, very crowded arena.
And this table right here just lays it all out. It shows exactly why Luckin's model is in so much trouble. Every single piece of their low-cost strategy gets way more expensive in Taiwan. Look at the labor costs, about 3 times higher. The fees for digital payments, 5 to 7 times higher. And the delivery commissions we mentioned, they're in a completely different stratosphere. Luckin's core cost advantage basically evaporates at the border.
On top of all that, there's just no empty space in the market for them. In Taiwan, every price point is already fiercely defended. You want fancy, artisanal hand-drip coffee? You've got it. A premium international brand like Starbucks? Of course. Great mid-price local chains like Louisa and Kama? They're everywhere. And then there's the undisputed king of convenience, 7-Eleven City Cafe, which is the default for millions. So where exactly does Luckin fit in?
So, the odds seem pretty stacked against them, don't they? Is it a hopeless cause? Well, not necessarily. And this is where it gets really interesting. Let's explore Luckin's potential playbook. How could this giant possibly adapted strategy to have a fighting chance in Taiwan? Well, some analysts think they could launch a 3-pronged attack.
First, they could wage a hyper-efficient digital war. Don't just compete on convenience. Be more convenient. Use app pre-orders and tiny grab-and-go spots in office lobbies to beat everyone in that morning rush. Second, they have to localize and do it smartly. Create unique drinks with beloved Taiwanese brands to get that crucial social media buzz. And third, maybe the coffee isn't even the endgame. Perhaps the coffee is just the traffic portal, a cheap way to get you onto their platform so they can sell you a whole bunch of other stuff. The coffee itself just becomes a loss leader.
But what if the goal isn't even profit? At least not at first. Industry expert Chu Qianqi suggests something else entirely. He argues that for Luckin, opening a store in Taipei might just be about planting a flag. It could be a symbolic move to build a global brand impression as part of their bigger expansion. It's not about winning the market. It's about being seen in the market.
So, where does that leave us? As we wrap this up, it's really clear this is about way more than just another cafe opening its doors.
This is a fascinating clash of business philosophies. You've got Luckin's hyper-efficient, data-driven model on one side, and Taiwan's deeply embedded, world-class convenience culture on the other. And whatever the outcome, the shockwaves are going to ripple through the entire industry, forcing every single coffee player in Taiwan to take a hard look at their own strategy.
And this brings us to the final, crucial question to think about. If Luckin does land in Taiwan, will its real impact be on the price you pay for your daily cup? Or will its digital-first approach force every brand, from the corner cafe to the convenience store giant, to completely redefine what value even means in the battle for your morning coffee? That is the real war to watch.